welcome back to the Straight Shooter Recruiter. I'm Emily, a senior recruiter by day, podcast host by night, and then career coach on the weekends. Basically, my job is to tell you everything that interviewers don't want you to know. So if you're interested in all kinds of resume, career, and interview tips, girl, you have to subscribe. I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna pressure you. Just gonna sit here and make it really uncomfortable until you hit that subscribe button. Maybe you hit the notification bell too. Maybe you drop it in the comments that you're here, that you're part of the fam. I don't know, I'll leave it up to you. But thank you so much for watching, and let's get into the video. First impressions matter so much more in a virtual environment. Think about it. When you meet someone in person for the first time, maybe it's a friend, a distant relative, you have so many things to look at. Maybe it's what they're wearing, how they carry themselves, what they say, their body language. There's so many things you get to absorb. But when you're talking to someone over the screen, really all you get is this little block of their face, maybe a glimpse of their personality and what they're telling you. Our senses are chopped in half. So it's really important that we as candidates play up those skills, play up those amazing traits in the interview so that we can really shine just as well as if it was in person. So in comes tip number 1. You have to have a strong introduction. I know you're probably thinking this because I used to think this too. I don't need to practice how to introduce myself. I know myself so well. Yeah, I know you really well, but the interviewer doesn't know you at all. So you need to figure out how to showcase your amazing skill, your intellect, your passion, all within a 30-second to a 1-minute window. So how are we going to do this? Well, we need to make sure that your introduction includes the next couple of things. The first is obviously who you are. So that's your name. That's also followed by what you do or what you study. Obviously, if you're a student, you would include your major. The next is what you're passionate about, aka why are you interested in this job? Why are you passionate about this field? Why is the field of computer science or tech so interesting to you? And the last is why are you a great fit for this company? What makes this company the perfect match for you? Is it their values? Is it their product offering? Is it how innovative they are? There are so many different things that you can call out. And I honestly believe that this first tip is a whole video in and of itself. You should probably stay tuned for that video because that will be coming very soon. But you've got the Sparks notes. You need to make sure you prepare a really strong introduction that includes those points. And tip number 1 really ties into tip number 2, which is research the company. And these first 2 tips, these are really important regardless of what kind of interview this is, whether it's in person, virtual, in space, I don't care where it is, I promise that this matters. You want to make sure that you research the company for a couple of reasons. Number 1, the person who's interviewing you wants to make sure that you actually did a little bit of homework. It's one thing to say, I want to work at Google because I Google stuff a lot, versus you actually doing research into the company's mission, the vision, the values. Why do you align to what that company does and believes in? So you can see how that kind of ties into the first part. The other reason that this is such an important thing to do is I promise and I guarantee, money back guarantee part 2 in this video, the recruiter or the interviewer is going to ask, why do you want to work here? And trust me, they are not asking, why do you want this job? They're not asking, why do you want to work in this field? They want to know, why do you want to work in this field, at this job, at the company? You need to be able to explain why this company is the one for you. And I'm actually going to show you how to research that. Okay, I'm going to show you what you can look for when you're researching a company. So I just went to Google, typed in Amazon careers, it took me to their career page. You can do that for literally any company. Now, there are so many other things that you can research. You can look up what the company's products are, what their missions are, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But one of my favorite things to research and to call out in your interview is how you enjoy the culture or some of the things that the company stands for. So I'm on Amazon's career website. You'll see obviously somewhere you can search for jobs, the different kinds of opportunities that they have, all this good stuff. You want to keep scrolling until you get to something that looks like this. For Amazon, it's learn about working at Amazon, but lots of other companies will say things like culture at, insert company name or meet our team. That's what you want to click. So you're going to click this link. You're going to awkwardly wait for my internet to load. And then you're going to see some of their key callouts. You're going to look at what they call their DNA, their leadership principles, all of these other different factors that you can look into. And your goal is to find something that you align with. Maybe you see something or someone's career story that you say, hey, I see myself in that, or I really enjoy that. That's actually what you're going to call out in your interview. So I hope this part helped. Tip number 3, you need to be able to speak their language. Body language. Wow, okay. Anyways, we're back. Hate myself for that as well. If you are still here, my condolences. I am so sorry. Anyways, body language. It's important all the time, but extra important in a virtual environment. Remember what I talked about, this whole first impressions thing. We have less to look at, less to work with. You want to make sure that your body language is both professional and friendly. Why do we care if it's friendly? Obviously, it's important for you to make a connection with the recruiter or whoever is interviewing you. Not only are they evaluating your skills, but they're also evaluating how well you fit with the company culture, and also, whether they realize it or not, how well you would work with the team. And a big part of that is being friendly and approachable. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be an extrovert with a big personality. You just want to make sure that you carry yourself in a way that is approachable. And in virtual interviews, I tend to see the same few things happening. I either see people get so stiff and robotic to the point where every movement feels like it's been choreographed. There's limited blinking. I'm very uncomfortable. Or I see people that get so casual. I've got like a knee up, we're hanging out. You're basically either a robot or a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. There is no in between with some people, and I'm telling you, we need to find the in between. We need to find the in between way too stiff and way too loose. We want to be professional, but we still want to be approachable. So here are some tips on how to do that. Firstly, we need to assess where you're at. Are you on the stiff side of things or a little too loosey-goosey? How do you figure that out? Videotape yourself on your smartphone, on your smart, intelligent device. Videotape yourself answering a common interview question. Maybe it's your introduction or what your favorite class was in school, anything. Videotape yourself answering that question and then watch it back. Trust me, you're going to be able to pick it up like this if you are too stiff or far too loose. It's a great tip, and it's something that I actually do when I'm preparing for interviews. What do you do if you watch your video back and you're way too stiff or way too loosey-goosey? If you're really on the stiff side, I know this is a cheesy piece of advice, but before your interviews, practice some really deep breaths. Actually pay attention to your muscles and relax them. Another great tip that I have is don't forget that you've got hands. These things are here for you, okay? Talk with your hands a little bit. So if you find that you're usually really stiff like this and you watch back and you look like you're being interrogated, breathe. We're gonna loosen up our muscles, and then occasionally we're gonna use our hands to talk and make sure that they're in the screen. It shows that we're approachable, have a little bit of energy, all of that good stuff. On the flip side, if you're like basically doing the wave every single time you're having an interview, do the opposite. I actually lean on the side of being too loosey-goosey, which I'm sure you can tell because I talk basically like this. If you're way too loosey-goosey with how you're interviewing, in your interview, focus on actually sucking in your core. So focus on contracting your abdominal muscles, sitting up really tall, and that will actually help keep a center of balance for you. That's what I do when I'm in interviews or in important meetings. I really keep my core tight. It forces my posture up, and it gives me less wiggle room to hit him with one of these. I should never hit him with one of those ever again. I hated that. So I started off this interview by telling you how important it is to prepare for interviews. Ironically, I'm about to end it by telling you not to over-prepare. Over-preparing is probably the number one issue that I see across all candidates in virtual interviews. Not just students, I'm talking all levels in all industries. And the reason for that is people get so fixated on preparing for interviews that we turn on our computers, we log into Zoom, interview mode is activated, and you're ready to go. But we forget to be human. We forget to build connections. And one of the most important parts of an interview, of course, is demonstrating your skill, but it's connecting with the interviewer in a way that makes them think, hey, I could probably work with this person. The first thing that as an over-preparer you have to do, the first step in the process, is throw out your script. I don't care how good it is. I don't care if you spent hours writing it. I'm sure it's gorgeous. Throw it out. I never want to see it again. It doesn't matter how perfect your writing is. You want to make sure that you're delivering conversational answers. So throw out your script. Instead, what you're going to do is make bullet point notes. You might be making those bullet point notes for commonly asked questions in your industry or just general interview questions that tend to get asked quite frequently. What you're going to do instead of writing a script is writing down 3 or 4 short bullet points of what you want to cover while you answer it. You want to make sure that they're very short, to the point, and are not complete sentences. Then what you're going to do, you're going to turn on your phone. You are going to flip that camera directly at you. You're going to prop it up against a Kleenex box, and you are going to practice answering that question. Whatever question you prepared for with those bullet points, you're going to do that once. Then you're going to stop recording. You're going to do it again and answer it in a different way based off of those notes. I'm going to get you to repeat that 3 times. Trust me, it is going to work. The reason it's going to work is it's going to force you to reinvent how you answer the question. And that's going to help you get very comfortable answering new questions on the spot, and also forces you to be conversational as you're practicing. Not to mention, when you watch back on those videos, you'll be able to critique yourself and get better for next time. Okay, these aren't like official tips, but I felt like I had to throw them out there just to be a good recruiter. The first is make sure you turn off your phone and any notifications that you might be getting during the interview. You also want to make sure that you're in a pretty quiet space, somewhere somewhat remote, so that you can actually focus on the conversation. And please, for the love of God, can you wear pants? I'm begging. I know that the videos are just from the waist up, but you know who you are. Someone wearing boxers, someone wearing track pants, someone wearing nothing at all, please. We've been through enough. Put on some pants, I'm begging you. That's the tip. Anyone who says that they like interviews is a liar. Nobody likes interviewing. I'm a recruiter and I don't even like interviewing, okay? So please don't be hard on yourself for feeling a little bit intimidated, especially by this whole new world of virtual interviews. I really hope that this video was helpful. If it was, please, please, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit me in the comments. It honestly helps so much to make sure that this video gets some reach, and it's just really helpful for me as a creator. If you want more career content, oh my gosh, I have so much for you. So much is coming on this channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a beat. I also have a podcast called The Straight Shooter Recruiter in Instagram. Handle for that will be coming up shortly, but it's emily.the.recruiter. I also do one-on-one career coaching, so hit me up for that. You can register for that in the description. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the description. But before you go, I actually have a PSA that's not recruitment related. I have never had the sugar cookie Hershey's Kisses until this year. I think they're a holiday treat. If you see these at any local grocer, pick up 40. I have cleared a bag and a half. They're an out-of-body experience. It's white chocolate, and then there's a sugar cookie on the inside of the little Hershey, and they have little sprinkles in it. Anyways, that's my reward for finishing this video. Treat yourself. I love you. I'll see you next week.